All right, hey everybody. So, one common question that you're gonna see, or in Algebra 1, is a word problem where it's talking about a length and a width, and it says one is shorter or one is longer than the other. So, an example here is the length of a rectangular table is 7 inches longer than its width. If the length is 15 inches, how long is the width? All right. So one thing that you can do is you can start by drawing it. Okay, that's always good to draw a word problem so you can visualize it. All right, so there's our rectangular table. It's just a rectangle. All right, and we know that the length, right, is 7 inches longer than the width. Now, how are we going to write that? Well, they never told us how long the width is, so let's let it be W. The width is W. So if the length is 7 inches longer than the width, longer is, the operation for longer is plus. So we're going to do W plus 7, or 7 plus W. All right. So our length is W plus 7. So if you want to write an equation, you can do like L equals W plus 7. All right. So let's do that. Oops, sorry. So L equals W plus 7, and they tell us that the length is 15 inches. So instead of L, we know that the length is 15 inches. So we're going to substitute that for the length. So we put 15 equals W plus 7. All right, move that up. And hey, it's a one-step equation. So we want to solve for W, so we want to get rid of that plus 7. So the opposite of adding 7, or the inverse of adding 7, is subtracting 7. Since we subtract 7 on the right side, we also have to subtract 7 on the left side of the equal sign. And these cancel out. We have a W, we have the equal sign still, and we have 15 minus 7, that's going to give us 8. So here our width is 8 inches. And usually your math teachers are going to want you to write the units. The units are like inches, feet, centimeters, things like that. Okay, so there you go. That's how you find the width. And this is a common question that you're going to get is, what's the area? Okay, and we'll talk about this later, but the area, if you remember from pre-calculus or from before, the area of a rectangle is length times width. So our area, if they did ask us, would be our length, which is 15, times our width, which we just found was 8. Just multiply those two together, and we get 15 times 8. That's going to give us 120. And here it's inches squared. Yeah, so the reason why we get inches squared, I'll talk about this later, but inches times inches is inches squared. Okay, so that's that. And let's look at another one. It says, you went to the movies at 12 p.m. and there were 56 people there. When the movie finished at 4 p.m., there were only 27 people there. How many people left by 4 p.m.? Well, the movie went from 12 to 4. It's a 4-hour movie. Of course, people are going to leave, right? That's too long. So, one way to do this is you want to focus on the ending time. So our ending time was 4 p.m., right? So at 4 p.m., so people at 4 p.m. So how many people were there at 4 p.m.? We had 27. Okay, I'm going to put that down. And that's going to equal, right, how many people we had in the beginning. So people in the beginning. In the beginning, we're at 12. All right, equals 56. And then minus some number. Okay, so we don't know what that number is, so we're going to let it be a variable. I'm going to use the letter x for that. So minus x, because we're not sure how many people left. So there's an easier way to do this. I'll let you know. But first, let's do this one. So this one looks a little different from what the one-step equations that we saw before, because this is actually a two-step equation. So first we want to get the x by itself. So we want to move that 56. So here it looks like it's a minus 56, but it's actually a plus 56 because there's the positive 56. So if you don't see a sign in front, it's a plus, a positive. So here it's a negative x plus 56, which is, the opposite of that is subtracting 56. So we subtract 56 from both sides, and we get negative 29 equals, and these cancel out, we have negative x. And then the way we get rid of this negative one, this negative, all right, it's actually a negative 1 times x. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we divide both negative 1 from both sides. All right, and that just cancels out the negative. Or you can just take away both negatives on both sides. And we get x equals 29. Right, and then you can check that. Okay, the way you would check is plug it in. So we have 27 equals 56 minus 29. Is that 27? All right, so we have here, it's before 16, 16 minus 9 is 7, perfect. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. Hey, works out. So I said there's an easier way to do this. Just subtract. Alright, but they did want you to write the equation. So here you just do 56 minus 27, and then you get 29. And that's it. Okay?